Hello and welcome to Green Addicts Live. My name is Juan Cruz, and I'm joining me today is Jeff Angel and Mr. Scott Diss. And so today we're going to be talking to you guys about overcoming and adaptability. This is the sales team here at Green Addicts, and so we've done a little bit of adapting and overcoming to make sure that we go ahead and service the customers with the best outcomes or solutions possible. So, but before we get into that, I just wanted the guys to kind of share a little bit about who they are, get to know them a little bit deeper. Jeff's been on the podcast before, and so Jeff, we're going to start off with you. Tell the people a little bit about who you are and your position here at Green Addicts.
Thank you, Juan. Nice to see everybody. If you guys can see me. My name is Jeff Angel. I'm the assistant sales manager for Green Addicts. I've been with the company for about 2 years now, and best position I could ever ask for because I have a great group of guys that I get to teach and work with every single day. I'm not originally from Texas, so I am a transplant. Did spend 10 years in the military before this, and originally from New Mexico. Yeah.
Awesome. And we'll get into that, the military and the training and stuff like that. Scott, how about you? You're the newest member of the Green Addict sales team, and
Rookie.
so the rookie. We pick on him a little bit about that, but you've come on strong, and so just tell us a little bit about who you are.
I've been in the country about 15 years. I'm originally from Dallas, Texas, but I moved to Australia when I was 5. So I grew up there, and I've been back about 15 years now. I've been with the company about 6 months and loving it. Yeah, it's fantastic. Great guys, great team. Yeah, awesome.
Awesome. And I hope that you get a sense of that. This is an awesome team. We genuinely like being with one another. And so, yeah. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and start this whole conversation about overcoming and adaptability. And so with that, we wanted to start with the verse of the week or the quote of the week for us today is by Albert Einstein. It's the measure of intelligence is the ability to adapt. So the measure of intelligence is the ability to adapt. So Jeff, talk to us a little bit about what this quote would mean to you here at Green Addicts, the ability to adapt.
Adaptation is everything here for us at Green Addicts. I mean, we deal with different situations every single day. There's not a customer that we come to that isn't unique in his own way. There isn't an addict that we go into that isn't unique. There's always something different. We can go into 10 houses built on the same day by the same builder, and it's always going to be different every single time. So we have to have the ability to just adapt and overcome any type of situation. I mean, there's countless amount of times that we come across something that we've never seen before, but we have the ability to just figure it out, and having that is crucial and setting us apart. And from the moment we first talk to one of our customers to the very end of the project, as adaptation's crucial.
Awesome. And so, Scott, you had mentioned you've been with the company for 6 months. You were doing the service industry before this, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was in the restaurant industry.
Restaurant industry, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was a long time. So how long were you in the restaurant industry?
About 12 years.
Okay.
Started out bartending and went into management and kind of bounced around, did a few different things, kind of worked my way up, and every sort of from dive bars to fine dining to hotels, and then coming into sales, which I'd never done before, which I was always wanted to, but I found a lot of similarities with it, and I think a lot of the traits that you have to have, the qualities you have to have in the restaurant industry, particularly as a manager and as a server, bartender, or whatever, is you're dealing with the customers' satisfaction. You're just trying to make them happy, make sure their stay is as enjoyable as possible, making them as comfortable as possible as well, and hoping that they come back. And that's kind of, there's a lot of similarities between what we're doing as well, which is trying to give the best product that we can with the best service and the best execution, and hoping for repeat business because that doesn't cost anything.
Right. That's awesome. And so what's one thing that you feel like you've had to adapt coming from the restaurant business now into more of a contractor type installation business?
I mean, it's just different environments, basically. A stinky hot kitchen. Now I'm in a stinky hot attic. So it's really not that much difference, I guess. It's a little bit of hands-on and a little bit of sales and a little bit of communication. A little bit. It's just a little bit of everything, which is what I loved about the restaurant industry and the management side of things, particularly, and bartending as well. But it's just the overall, a little bit of everything. There's no stagnant. It's just you're always moving around too. That's the other thing I love. It's like if you don't have a good bid here, you move on to the next one, and it's a fresh quarter. Or it's a fresh game. So
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. But yeah, there are a lot of similarities, and and I think it's done me well as far as doing well in this as well. So.
Awesome. And Jeff, with you, and you mentioned the military background. How has that kind of helped in what it is that you do here for Green Addicts?
Oh, it's been a game changer, definitely. The military, their main teaching is adapt and overcome. I mean, if there's anything that they're teaching, it's that. Being able to come across any type of situation and figure it out and always win every single time. Soldiers don't lose; they don't. So that's always a big part of that. Bringing that over into this industry has been a game changer. It's been the make it or break it factor for me. So. I have that type of mind where I'm very mechanical, and I can figure things out, which is, one of the things that I try to teach you guys and anybody else that I'm trying to teach this type of work to. But adaptability, it can't be taught. You have to adapt to adaptability, if that makes any sense. You can't give somebody adaptability. So, but once you've figured it out for yourself and how to do it and how to overcome these things, then it becomes easy. It becomes second nature, and it makes everything else so much easier for you. So the military definitely had a big play in that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so one of the things that we do at Green Addicts, we're constantly training, sharpening our tools, and Scott, can you kind of just, you being the new guy, talk to us about the training that took place and how that's helped you, maybe even just gain the ability to adapt?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the training was fantastic. I spent about 3 weeks on the road with Jeff. Learned, a lot. I'd never been in an attic before, before doing this. I was kind of the same mindset that a lot of the customers that we go to's house, that if their house is hot or cold, then their AC is not working or they don't have enough insulation. I had no clue about ventilation and radiant barrier and all the different things that you can do, the return supply ratio and all the things you can do. So yeah, Jeff was an amazing teacher. And it was fun too. It was a fun process driving around with him and listening to music and keeping your hands inside the window. Yeah, it was good. It was good times. And then obviously the hands-on training that we get to do. You get to go out and see what the installers have to do and what they have to put up with as well. And yeah, it's not an easy job, that's for sure. But no, the training aspect was wonderful. It was very thorough, and Jeff did a great job.
Yeah, and I want to kind of touch on that, Jeff, because that's something that you've done really, really well as you've transitioned into this role. Is the training, of us on Wednesday mornings. Yeah, we have training Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday mornings, all different aspects of the company. But you've kind of taken a hands-on approach on the training, and so why is that such a big thing? Because you're passionate about it. So kind of just speak into that a little bit.
Being passion driven it makes it so much easier to teach this type of stuff. So I love this job. I love what I do. I love meeting people every day, and my favorite part of this job is getting to meet everybody's dog, believe it or not. So it's great. But being able to teach this stuff to you guys, and all I'm teaching is just the stuff that I've learned. I'm not using any type of techniques or anything like that for teaching it. I'm giving you guys the information, but I feel like y'all's passion for this work as well has really given you guys the passion to want to learn this type of stuff. So I've been given credit for great training from you guys, but I feel that you guys have been phenomenal students is the big thing. I mean, you guys are so coachable and so easy to become a sponge for me, that anything that I put out, you guys just absorb. So thanks, but I give the credit right back to you guys on that, honestly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. But one of the things that you've kind of been honing in on in our meetings over the last month is that overcoming factors and overcoming objections and if you will, the fighting for the sale. And so, talk to us about just a little bit, just kind of coach the people. They're having issues that they're needing to overcome. What kind of tips or tidbits would you give them?
That's a great question. One of the biggest things about overcoming anything in life and overcoming objections on the sales side is a great way to you can point this at life in so many different aspects. Overcoming an objection is one of the most difficult things because there's a conflict factor in there, right? And that conflict factor can destroy anybody. Nobody likes conflict. People don't on a natural basis, right? People just don't like conflict. So having to overcome these objections with some type of conflict, even it being small, can be uncomfortable for a lot of people. Same thing applies to life. I mean, there's overcoming certain things can really affect you on a positive note, right? Just kind of an example, a recent part of my life, I recently quit smoking. That was a big thing for me. I mean, I smoked for over 12 years. I was a pack a day smoker, and today's day 12. Today's day 12, cigarette free, and overcoming that. The picture of doing it in my mind was such a big feat. It was huge. I got this giant mountain that I got to climb. But when I actually forced myself to do it and overcame it, now it's easy. I mean, now I can be, I can see it, and I can see it on TV, or all the triggers that would make me want these things, this garbage, doesn't affect me anymore because I took those steps and I put myself in that uncomfortable situation for the time needed. And now I don't consider myself a smoker now. I'm an ex-smoker, even though it's right there. I'm not that far away from it, but it's not part of my life anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I overcame that. And it's just being willing to put yourself in those uncomfortable situations, whether it's conflict, self or someone else, or work or anything like that. Just having the willingness to not be afraid and just do it.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
And so Scott, kind of just piggybacking off that. So what are things that you've had to overcome here in just in a customer's home? If you have any examples or frustrations that you've had to, just say, hey, you know what, we're going to be adaptable. We're going to move this thing around. We're going to overcome, and we're going to make this happen.
I think the toughest thing, obviously, being new and especially in the early stages, was when I came across something that I would say weird, and Jeff would say it's unique. It's not having the answers, and that's okay, And he's like, if you ever have any issues, just don't be afraid to say, hey, I'm not sure. I don't want to give you the wrong answer. I want to let me call my boss and make sure I give you the right information that I need to give you, because in so many aspects of life, it's just fake it till you make it, and in this industry, and most industries, you really shouldn't do that. It's not fair on them, and it's not true to you. So that was a big thing, I think, but that was just came down to just experience and stuff. But I think definitely the rejection is the hardest thing, like anything, whether it's in a relationship or in work. Nobody likes being told no. Nobody likes being told I don't like you,
Right.
And you take it personally, and you don't want to, and you can't, because it's not about that. A lot of the time, it's a budget thing, or it's a whatever,
Yeah.
So the rejection thing, and taking that, and just kind of like what you said. Hey, the worst thing that can happen is they can say no, and I'm like, yeah, that's if you put it that way, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah. And it's a great way to stay in shape. So
Yeah. Awesome. They got the laws of the laws of sales average says 8 out of 10 calls are going to be a no, and are you willing to make the 9th and the 10th call? And so having to overcome those things and having that overcoming, it's not for the faint at heart. Making sure that you're talking to the customers and you're having, and our averages are a lot better than that, by the way. Thank you, Jesus. But it's just coming into the situation and saying, hey, you know what? I've got the training, I have the confidence, I have the ability to do this. So let me, whatever it is, whatever questions or concerns, and Jeff mentioned the conflict, the tension that is built when we don't have the answers or we don't know what's going on. One of the things that we do have is the ability to lean on Jeff and to lean on Russ and Brad and say, hey, look, this is the situation that we have. how can we overcome and how do we adapt? And so it's something that's championed, really within the company, and something that these guys have done an excellent job of doing. Is just being able to say, you know what, we don't have that answer, but we'll get you the right answer. So I love that about what we do. And so
And Russell, and just to take that even further, I've called Russ and called Jeff and had issues and stuff, and I mean, he'll even take it the next step, and he'll literally, you know, if it's just out of my, I mean, I don't even know how to explain what Russ has just told me. You know, he's like, hey, let me call him. I'll take care of it. Let me explain it to him, because he's the energy Einstein, you know, and he's amazing, and he knows this stuff, you know, and not saying we don't, but he can take it that next step further, you know, so that's a great, you know, that's a great aspect of the team thing as well. So,
yep. And so with that, even just, you know, and we talked about you training, but the training that goes on gives us almost the ability to be adaptable and to overcome, because once we've trained and once we've sharpened our tools, if you will, we're able to say, okay, well, this situation makes more sense this way, because we know more now about this industry, right? And so kind of a little bit on topic or off topic. So how do you kind of prepare your day to give you the maximum ability to kind of be flexible and adaptable? So how do you kind of prepare your day for that?
Day prep is a new aspect for me. So it's something that I've failed at multiple times in the past. I've tried. Recently started planning out my day again, though. One of the big things on the flexibility of the day and being able to overcome situations that, you know, pop up is being close. For me, it's being close to the office, right? Because, you know, we're very centrally located for the Metroplex and whatnot. So being somewhere around there so that at any given time, a phone call comes in for, hey, you know, this customer has a need, or this customer has an emergency, we need to get over there, something to that extent. Being within, you know, arm's reach, now I'm able to make those things happen a little bit better. So that's definitely been helpful. Prep wise, I mean, I'm still learning. I'm still getting there. I'm not on that Crenshaw level yet of prepping. I think that'll take a long time for me to get there, because that's a different ball game.
Yeah.
But I would like to be there at some point where, you know, my day is set in stone, and I'm, you know, adaptation happens if necessary, but not as common or as often as it is happening.
Right.
Yeah.
And you, Scott, is there anything that you do as far as your prep for the day, or things that you kind of put in order so that it gives you flexibility to be, you know, in different things, different places?
Yeah, I mean, it's the little things for me. I mean, I'm new to this prepping as well, but you know, just little things, just like making your bed every day, making sure, like, you know, coming home to that. There's a little thing. I like to lay out all the clothes that I'm going to wear for each day of the week. So I know exactly what I'm wearing, and I lay them all out on the spare bed in the spare bedroom. So it's just little things like that that really get me through the week. So
Heard that.
yeah.
Juan, you're asking a lot about us, but I'd like to ask that question right back to you, man, because it seems like you have a lot of self-discipline. From what I can tell, just from knowing you in the short time that I have known you, but I do notice a large amount of self-discipline. You know, I mean, you commit to something and you actually stick with it. You're really good at that. I know that prep and planning has been on your target list, if you will. What are you doing for those things?
So one of the things that I've I got this from church. In the Jewish tradition, the day began in the evening time, right? And so you start your day by preparation for the next day. And so in the Jewish tradition, the day began when when the sun set. And so one of the things that it gave them freedom to do is they started their day with rest. They started their day with sleep, rather than how we picture our day, starting to wake up and going with the busyness of the hustle and the bustle. So what I've done now is I've kind of carved out some time in the evening time. You know, we have kind of a set routine. I have 3 kids. We try to put the kids in bed. We try to put the kids in bed by 8 o'clock. And so, you know, we pray over them or whatnot. And then I just kind of look at my schedule for the next day. I look at, you know, our app of where I'm going to be. But I also do I set out my gym clothes for the morning. I set out my pre-workout and things of that nature. I've already, you know, cut up my sausage in little cube pieces, because that's how I eat my sausage in the morning. So I cut it up the night before.
Cuban.
Because I'm Cuban. Yeah, right. And
Makes
so,
sense.
you know, I cut it up and I have everything ready for breakfast. And just so that it actually motivates me to actually get up. when I don't do those things, for whatever reason, my 4 o'clock alarm goes and I'm like, oh, I'm not prepped, I'm not ready, I'm gonna get to the gym late, blah blah blah. So one of the things I do is I prep the day before or the evening before, kind of look at my schedule, and that way, if those things are there, I'm like, oh, I've already set out my food or my clothes or whatever. And so y'all are ridiculous.
Oh, that was. I'm sorry. I'm still laughing at that Cuban joke. That was good.
Cuban.
That was right up,
That's
right
awesome.
with the fly. Yeah.
And so so that's one of the things that I've done is kind of set those things out. I set my Bible out. I set my reading time stuff out, so that way it's a quicker process in the mornings. And then really one of the things that Brad and Russ kind of challenged me on was not getting on my Facebook in the morning or my social media apps. And that's one of the things that I've kind of really done to the first half hour to hour, just try to stay away from off the phone and be able to focus on the things that I need to get done, so that I can make it to the trainings on time. So
I'll tell you one thing we're forgetting is the girls in the office that are
Yeah.
prepping us for the day's bids and getting everything, making sure they're all in order and a nice little route and everything.
Yeah.
So, that's really where it starts, I guess, for us as far as the work goes too. So,
Oh, you're absolutely right. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how I would do it without Kim and Amelia doing what they
seconds,
do.
yeah.
To even the confirmation of appointments.
Yeah.
The things that are extremely important that they really need to do are getting done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where hey, thank you, ladies. You guys are awesome.
Killer job,
Yeah.
girls.
I do want to say though, I'd like to challenge anybody that's listening to us. Thank you, first of all, for putting up with us. But secondly, ask the people around you. Hey, what are you doing to prep for your day? What are you doing to make sure you're successful in your day? Ask your peers. Ask your boss. That's the big one. Ask people above you how you can get to their level. What can you do to be in their position and better yourself and whatnot? I think that's questions that we're afraid to ask. Those aren't normal questions. Hey, buddy, what do you do for your day? How do you prep your day? That's not what we do.
Right.
That's not how we banter or whatever. So it's ask those questions. Don't be afraid to.
yeah. I'm going to shift the conversation just a little bit as we're wrapping up here a little bit. But one of the things that, and I don't know if you noticed this, but we genuinely have fun with one another. We have a good time at the office and just working with one another. So last question before or second to last question, what is something that you guys do for fun?
Ooh, yeah. Well, there's a lot of gray area in that question. Best part of my day is hanging out with my kids, my 3 boys. My oldest, I consider my absolute best friend, and then I have my 2 minions. The twins. They're my heart and soul. Yeah. So spending any time with them to me is fun. Whether it's going to Cub Scouts. We have a Cub Scouts camping trip this weekend, or going to sell popcorn, or anything that I get to do that involves them that's fun to me. But then there's also Jeff, right? And that could involve, going out to do stuff, going, out with friends, or going, to poker night, or just something to that extent where I'm spending time with people that I actually care about outside of the house, right? So playing music, that's the big one for me. My biggest stress reliever is sitting behind a drum set. That's for me. That is I'm in heaven. You know what I mean? That's the one thing I can do and never be in a bad mood. I will always have a smile on my face. Opportunity for that recently is nowhere near as what it used to be because life happens. You get busy, but hoping one day I can get back into that. Yeah.
Awesome. Scott, tell us what are you doing for fun, man?
Yeah, and that's I'm kind of on the same. I think that's why Jeff and I get on quite so well because we both had a love for a lot of the same musics, and I play in a couple of bands, original and then a cover band as well, and we actually rehearse just right next door here, which is kind of cool. But that's kind of the same for me. That's my heaven. Just put me on a stage with my guitar or just on the couch with my guitar, and I'm happy. Just singing and playing and. Just forget about the day and any dramas that have gone on or whatever. It's just it's a nice little stress release,
Awesome.
Yeah, going to concerts, anything music related though, pretty much. Okay. Or the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Cowboys.
Oh, I'm really sorry. Who that? And so, so do you have any shows coming up? Anything that the audience can be looking forward to?
I think the next one is probably going to be New Year's Eve. I think we've got we're still nailing in where it's going to be, but. we'll let you know for sure.
Yes.
They're opening up for Taylor Swift, right?
Taylor Swift, yeah, Justin Bieber. It's
Oh my
yeah,
gosh!
it's gonna be
no.
good. It's gonna be really good.
All right, this is getting out of hand. So, real quick, let's go ahead and we're gonna leave with two quotes. Y'all heard Albert Einstein? That was my the measure of intelligence is the ability to adapt. Do you guys have any quotes with adaptability and overcoming or overcoming?
Absolutely, yeah. So my quote comes from Max McCowan. All failure is failure to adapt. All success is successful adaptation. And I think that one's big. Being able to adapt in every situation in life can make you successful wherever you're at.
That's awesome. Yeah, like it a lot.
Yeah, mine's kind of similar to that. It's failure to adapt is the failure to move forward by Juan Crouton, and it's it's similar to that. Like I said, it's just it's powerful. So.
Yeah, and I love that. That was John Wooden, by the way. That's an awesome quote. So I hope you've enjoyed your time here with us today. We definitely enjoyed ourselves. Make sure to call us today after the podcast and say the code word overcome. For the first 5 people that use that word, use the word overcome when you call in. You get a 10% discount of any one of our services. So make sure to call in after the podcast. The number is 214-305-5449. Again, that's 214-305-5449. Thank you from Green Addicts. We are #1 in energy efficient solutions.